things aren't looking good for DAZN in the United States of America. Let's get into it. DAZN, we all know what they're about. As far as it pertains to America, they had this whole thing where they wanted to do so-called quote takeover, where they thought they were going to be able to put money out. They thought they were going to be able to buy up all the talent in America just due to the amount of funds they were going to be putting out, and that they would be able to shut everybody out of business. They thought they were going to shut Golden Boy out. Well, Golden Boy was aligned with them. They thought they were going to shut down Top Rank and ESPN. They thought they were going to shut down Showtime. They thought they were going to shut down PBC, Fox, anybody that was trying to deal with them. And then after that, what they thought they were going to be able to do was take over as it pertained to sports in general. They thought they were going to be able to get all these different contracts from these different leagues and put themselves into a position to put those games basically on their network and be able to take things to a whole other level with that as well. You know, being the first, being the first, like, hey, all these young kids, they're all using apps. The next generation, all they do is use apps. So we're going to be first to really come out there and be that vessel, that number one venue where they can go to watch all their sports, watch all their boxing, from their phones, a tablet, whatever it is that they have, and do it that way, the way that they're used to doing it now. That was the plan. But as we all know, it didn't turn out that way. They weren't able to get the amount of fighters that they thought they were going to be able to get. They weren't able to get the viewership that they thought they were going to be able to get. They got to the point where they had to do budget cuts, furloughing people, downsizing what they were doing in the United States. They don't even call it DZON USA anymore. Now it's just general DZON. And people had to take pay cuts, whether it be Canelo himself, Gennady Golovkin, and everybody else on the platform had to take pay cuts. This is what they got to. And what happened with them is that they had a good idea. The idea was intelligent. The execution is where they struggled in. And while they were struggling with the execution, all these other platforms looked at what they were doing and was like, you know what? They're right. That is the future. That is where most people, a lot of these young kids actually view their content from their phones, from their tablets. Then most of them are not on watching things on television. So all these different platforms, they took that DAZN idea and they did it themselves. ESPN with ESPN Plus. They did it. All the sports you could want to watch, they put it on that app. They have whatever it be, football, basketball, whatever, tennis, baseball, all other sports, soccer, to the Europeans, football, all that stuff on that site. But the one major difference was they had other content also, whether it be, whatever it might be. It might be original programming that you could turn on and watch on a regular basis that people would love to watch on a consistent basis. They already had a built-in fan base as well, obviously, because they have millions of people that watch them on a regular basis on ESPN, on regular television. So they were able to take it already to another level that DAZN wasn't able to do. Then you actually have all these other platforms that are doing the same thing. That doesn't pertain to sports. Disney, Disney, which they also on ESPN, but they also have their own app as well now, where you can go onto it and you can stream all the different movies and original shows. But again, a ish load of content that you can watch on a regular basis. But let's go back to the sports though. Today I was watching football. I was watching the NFL game. I was watching the Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. It wasn't on ESPN. It wasn't on Fox. It wasn't on ABC, CBS. It was on Prime Video. The only way you could watch it is if you had Prime Video, which is an app owned by Amazon. Because Amazon has also saw what DZON was doing. And they decided, you know what? We can do it better. They didn't buy out DZON. They didn't try to partner with DZON. They decided, we can do that way a whole lot better than them. And that's what they did. You know, you're talking about one of the wealthiest companies, one of the wealthiest people on earth. I mean, if the entire net worth of DAZN was taken from his account, put on a table and burned, he would think about it maybe for about 2 minutes. Then he'll go on by about his day. Probably never think about it again. That's the effect it would have on his life. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to, when it comes to sports, they're trying to get everything. They're trying to get baseball. They're trying to get contracts, but when it pertains to baseball, when it pertains to football, even tennis, and other sports as well. What DAZN was trying to do, they're putting their feet into that fire. They're putting their feet into that zone. That's what they're doing. And clearly they're succeeding, because in a very short period of time, they already actually have actual NFL games being shown on their show. They got college football games that are shown on their show. They've taken it to a whole different level already. And then you look at something like Triller, that we just saw have a bout with two old dudes who haven't fought in forever, especially Mike Tyson, who hasn't fought in God knows how long. And they do 1.5 million with $50 a pop, 1.5 million views. DAZN has never been able to do those type of numbers with the current setup with Canelo ever. Worldwide views, even when you can do it with the concurrent views, the highest viewership they've ever had is 1.2 million. And that's concurrent. That means it doesn't matter if there's 2-3 devices for an account, they're counting everything. And they're counting the entire world when they got those numbers. Yet these guys come out first event and they outperform them. And somehow DAZN wasn't able to get that event, because these are the type of things that DAZN is supposed to be able to get. You know, you got the Paul brothers not fighting on DAZN, fighting on different other platforms as well. And these are people, people that I did business with before, but somehow couldn't retain them. It's not looking good, because it seems as if more powerful entities have taken this idea and they've taken it to heights that DAZN never could. And then you got brand new entities that also have come out who have nowhere near the experience of DAZN, yet were able to be more successful in doing things the way they did it. Way more successful. So, I mean, as far as the company in general, it might still succeed, because I know there's certain areas in the world where DAZN works very well, and I think they'll continue to progress in those areas. I think they do need new management. I think they do need new CEO. They need a whole lot of stuff. They need to revamp that whole organization if it's going to work at all. Which I could see them doing, but as far as the United States, they're done. They're completely done when it comes to the United States. And I don't see them getting any kind of foothold in this country whatsoever. And I see them slowly withdrawing from this country as well. I think what they have going on with Canelo right now at a smaller scale, that doesn't work. I think it's over for them in the United States. I think they kind of bow out and they push out. But we'll see what the future holds for them, though. Maybe they can somehow, turn it around. But as far as having a stronghold and being, you know, the Amazon of this in this country or in the world, don't see it happening. Because these other entities got wise of what they were doing, who are way more powerful, way more funds, who have bases that have been built in for decades, who have extremely more content that they can show, just even like the Amazon, the Prime Video. You can watch original shows, you can watch movies, all this other content they have besides the sports that's also available to you. So some dude might like the sports on it, the NFL games. His kids might like the cartoons or whatever it is, the shows, and his wife might like the other shows, or he might like other shows on there as well. Which is a big part of it. People are not gonna, purchase something for $20 a month to just watch something once a month or maybe twice a month. No, you're gonna have to have that consistent content that's available from them. And that's why I never understood this whole Netflix of boxing. Like, I can go to Netflix and there's for like 10-15 minutes. Okay, all right, cool, I found what I want to watch. It's an asinine amount of stuff they have on that platform that you can watch. The complete opposite of DZON. So I've never understood that whole Netflix of boxing. But we'll see what happens with them, man. 2020 has been crazy. As far as DZON's concerned, us in America try to tell y'all what it was going to be like. People try to tell everybody in America, oh, no, it's going to work, this, that, not understanding how things work in this country. But us understanding how things work in this country, us seeing them use that HBO, the HBO blueprint, using the Eddie Hearn blueprint, which works in the UK, absolutely works there, but does not work here. And we understood that. Everybody else might have just closed their eyes to that, but a lot of us understood that, and things that happened the way they decided it was going to happen. But we'll see what the future holds when it comes to them. Maybe they can pull themselves out this rut and prove all of us wrong, but I doubt it. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.